I'm Julianne Neal with JA Media Productions, and I'm so excited to be speaking with Cassandra Thomas this morning, coming in from Great Britain. Welcome to the chat, Cassandra.
Thank you very much.
We're happy to have you with us. Tell me, as we're on a little bit of a time difference, and I know that you are probably late in the afternoon getting things together. What has your day been like so far today?
So I have a bit of a double life here, but effectively at this time of year, we have an equine farm. We have a ranch, as you call it. So I've got 150 horses to look after. So I am, you don't want to see down below. I'm covered in hay and muck. So yeah, that's pretty lucky, but no, it's a wonderful time of year. Yeah, and then generally in the afternoons, I sort of get on with my film production stuff. So it's quite a nice balance.
Oh, it sounds like you're living the life. That's wonderful. 150 horses. I can only imagine all the work that you're putting in. But we're here to talk really about the film. And so tell us a little bit. You had the trailer, the short, in the festival last year, and I'm really excited to be able to see Riding Liberty. Tell us a little bit about the film and how you've gotten to this point with it in the festival.
Thank you. So yeah, we filmed it, gosh, sort of exactly, it would be the summer before last, and it was an amazing process. It was my first film as an actual film director, and was an amazing journey. Obviously I had written it and produced it, and it was all shot on my farm using my polo ponies and the race horses and etc. So for that, it was really special. And we had a wonderful team, everyone involved, and especially in post, I really enjoyed that. So ended up with, very happy with the film in the end. So it's now just doing the festival circuit. So yeah, just sort of waiting to see. We've had a great response on the whole from a lot of festivals. So
it sounds like you're sort of a one-woman filmmaker, the package deal. How do you balance out your vision and creating your piece with getting help from other people and choosing the right folks to work with? I mean, that's got to be
so important as well. Well, yes, I'm definitely not a one-woman band. I have a wonderful partner that I work with on various different films. So actually doing quite a big budget feature film at the moment that's being commissioned by a production company. So we've worked together for a long period of time, and I couldn't have done it without him, because having come from acting, I'd always been behind the screen and not directed. So just technically, I had so much help from him. So he was my co-producer, my co-writer. So yeah, and then sort of he'd had worked with a lot of people before as crew. So he brought some of his team in, and then the creative team, obviously, and the cast I chose. So yeah, it's a very moving and memorable a film set to work on and story to work on. So it really had such an incredible energy to it when we were on set. So.
Well, and it's such a special topic. I'm just, even from seeing the trailer that's in now, I really love your characters. And so I'm sure that as you were deciding, well, from me watching, one of the lines that stood out to me was that your main character is not just riding Liberty, but is in those connections. Yes. So tell us a little bit about your characters and how you develop the characters in the story.
So actually Sebastian was based on someone that I knew. So it is based on a true story. So yes, so obviously a lot of that came when we were writing it and working on his character. That came from him. But the actor who played Sebastian was absolutely superb. It's the first time he'd ever done a film before. In fact, probably ever acted apart from amateur theatre. He was only 16, and he had this unbelievable, he didn't play polo before, so actually all the stunt doubles was the most complicated thing to do, but he knew how to ride really well. He had an unbelievable ability and connection with Liberty itself, so he spent a lot of time with her pre-filming. And yeah, he was just a very special actor, but it was a bit of a risk because I hadn't seen him anything before. I just watched him, as himself, with the horse, and that's what made me cast him as the lead. And he did such a beautiful job. He was a very, very lovely boy to work with. So
well, and you can tell, I mean, connections can't always be faked, and so it can't always be acted. The real connection shows, and so I wondered about that, if he had been around horses before, and how they worked.
exactly.
So,
Yeah, and then we had
your horse characters.
Sorry again.
Tell me about your horse characters, horse actors. How hard was it to choose the right
Yes.
for the part?
Oh gosh, well, there's quite a few stories there actually, because Liberty, so we have lots and lots of horses, and I should never have a favorite, but I actually have one that I named Liberty that is particularly my boy, and he came off the track. You know, I mean, so we get a lot off the track, and that's hence why I sort of wrote this film, because I know the process from training them into polo ponies and the difficulties and characters that come from it, and just sort of everything about you know, the way you get them to actually playing polo. So Liberty arrived, that was my boy, and he was supposed to be cast as Liberty, and then a bit of an accident happened, and obviously being a racehorse, they have their full mane, and particularly in the story of Riding Liberty, she had to have her full mane, and by accident one of our grooms, because when you play polo they have to have a hogged mane, didn't realize that he was a baby and hogged his mane, so I couldn't use him in the film.
No.
I was devastated, and I'd done so much work with him to sort of prepare him for the role. And then, so anyway, one of my other horses stepped in, and she did such a lovely job. She was much calmer in the head, and actually it was a bit heartbreaking, because you had to manipulate certain things to make her, you know, be a tricky, difficult, you know, high-tempered horse. So those tricks that we had to do were a bit uncomfortable for me as the owner, but they didn't cause her any damage, and she was fine, and she was just so good. I mean, to have camera crew all around you and everything behind you, in front of you, around you, for a 3-year-old is just remarkable. So
yeah. She's a keeper. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, and so I have to ask too, you were filming during COVID, during lockdown times. How did that affect the whole process? How did that affect your production?
I think we just had to have, you know, so much more infrastructure, and you know, just in basic terms, in terms of costumes and protection and spraying, and you know, all of that, and we had to have double everything in terms of costumes, so that the stunts, the doubles of we had 2 double characters, they couldn't wear the same clothes, so it was just sort of, you know, that sort of stuff, the fiddly, annoying logistical stuff, and apart from that, you know, there was not that much human contact. It was all shot outside, so we weren't restricted too much actually. So yeah, it was just basically wardrobe that was the annoying thing.
That's good then. Yeah, we've heard of so many productions that just said, yeah, we're going to take a break, and so I wondered about that for you guys.
I understand that for a lot of people that would have been the case, especially when you're working on a narrative, a film. You know, this is not a documentary; it's a narrative film. So you know, you could probably incorporate the whole COVID thing into it if it was a documentary, but yeah, not in this case.
Yeah, your continuity and everything. You got to be very careful.
Exactly.
Well, we're so excited about the film and so pleased to have it in the festival this year. So thank you for sharing it with us. And we look forward to, what is your next project? Are you working on anything now?
Yes, actually, Johnny, the co-writer and producer of Riding Liberty, and we've been working on a big feature film for probably about 5 years. And I think we're at a very exciting stage now. So we're sort of now signing contracts. So it's now, you know, sort of hopefully going to go and get greenlit in the next sort of 6 months. So it's a very, very different film. Yes, thank you.
Yeah, well, we'll hope to see it in the festival then for next year. We'll be back. This year is a virtual, kind of a different year, but we'll be back in person next year in Ocala and at the World Equestrian Center. So I think you ought to go ahead and make plans to be there, have it done, and be there and premiere it with us in Florida.
Yes, absolutely. Great. Well, thank you. Lovely to chat to you.
Lovely. Thank you so much for being with us today. And we look forward to seeing what comes next for you. Thanks, Cassandra.
Thank you.
Archie, this is Sebastian. He lives at the farm across the valley. He's come to help us with the horses.
My God, Mother was right. You don't speak a word.
Is this my new pony? Let's take a look at her.
They call her Liberty, she damn well knows it.
James is one of the best players in the country. Archie's going to play for him next year, assuming he gets his act together.
Stupid horse!
He hasn't spent all this money for you to give up. No, no. Get on another one and practice. You could learn a lot from him. Polo isn't a sport, Archie. It's a way of life.
He doesn't just ride her, he knows her.